Welcome to the Pause Run Play podcast. I was waiting for that moment.
Yeah, we're back now.
And we're back, and it's official. We're podcasting now. Vince, Josh.
Hi. Yo.
It's been a minute since we've been podcasting together. What have you guys been watching lately, really quickly, before we jump into this week's episode on the Oscars?
I've been watching a lot of TV lately, which is, bad. I got to watch a lot of movies for Oscar season, but I've seen most of the Best Picture nominees, and so I'm just not. And then I'm missing a lot of the other ones, and I feel like I'm too far behind. So I've been watching a lot more TV, trying to find good shows and stuff I like. Mainly in the last 24 hours, I've watched almost the entire season of Drive to Survive that was released yesterday on Netflix.
Wait, this is the F1 thing, right?
Yeah, so the F1 show that I like, they just released. So they release a new season every year that's about like the previous year, right before the new season starts. So like next week is the first race of the new season, and they just released the season that goes into all the stuff that happened last year, and it's like 10 episodes, and I've watched like 8 of them. So
Damn.
that's like all I've been doing pretty much, because it's like my hobby obsession right now. It's what I like. So
F1 is a hell of a drug.
it has been, bro. I love it. It's basically like the season hasn't even started, and it's almost like guaranteed who's gonna win both the drivers and the constructors championships, and I'm still just here for it. Like, I don't know what it is. I love it. But I've been watching other good stuff lately. Jaleesa, so this one isn't even really me a ton, but Jaleesa's been watching like all of the Star Wars movies, like back to back to back.
I did see that you've been watching them.
And so I haven't watched all of them with her, but they've been on in the background, and I've been watching them here and there too with her. So it's been good. Society of the Snow is one of the Oscar nominees that's on here that I checked out as well. And then I'll mention Nimona, which is one that both Vince and I saw recently. That's it's a fun one. It's a really good one. I like it. We might talk about it a little bit.
We'll talk about it when we get to it.
Say it's on the list. I read it, right?
But that's a good one. So that's what I've been watching.
I've been watching We Crashed again, which is great. I don't know. It's the WeWork. Wait, so it's a WeWork. It's a story of WeWork. WeWork. But it's all about kind of like the development and building of WeWork, the idea behind it, kind of what's going on.
Documentary?
It's not a documentary, actually, and it has Jared Leto and Anne Hathaway as the leads, and it's wonderful. It's on Apple TV Plus, which I don't know if either of you participate in that very often, but it's great. I love it. And then I
watched all of Severance lately because I just am excited for season 2, and that show is just too good, man. It's so good.
I want to start watching Severance again. It's next on my list.
Before you start rewatching things, you guys need to check out Mr. and Mrs. Smith first.
Oh, this is the one with what's his bucket?
With
Donald Glover.
And then who's the Mrs. Smith?
I don't remember her name, but she's in Pen 15.
Wait, hold on here. Did I talk to you guys about Silo yet on Apple TV Plus?
I started Silo. Sorry. I didn't finish it.
Okay.
I don't know if we talked about it, but
watch Silo. Watch it. It's amazing.
It's very interesting.
I'm listening to the books now. That's how interesting the world is to me. So not to give too much craziness away, but they pretty much start out talking about like, we live in the silo. We don't know how long we've been in the silo, and we don't know how much longer we'll be in the silo. Is kind of the start of it. I feel like you would really like this, actually.
It's like
I've heard about it.
It's like City of Ember type vibes, where they live in this thing, and they're like, the outside world isn't safe, but then like people start questioning, like, is that just them controlling us, or is it really not safe out there?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I finished Silo since I think we've been doing. But
right up my alley.
You need to watch it. Sorry, I want to listen to Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but I just have to tell you, watch Silo. Watch We Crashed. It's great.
See, I started it and it was good, but I don't know why I didn't keep watching it. So I think
also Rebecca Ferguson, she's beautiful. But yeah, that's what I've been watching, and I think the whole cast of that series is great. And I didn't know a lot of them, so it was actually a lot of fun. I just really loved it. Like straight up, it's one of those things where I don't really get invested in too many TV series, and I'm like, I'm gonna go look at the books.
Who was it? Was it you that was telling me to watch Invasion on Apple TV Plus?
No, it wasn't me.
I want to watch Invasion.
Someone
as well.
told me to watch Invasion, and I was watching it, and it was just like one of those shows that just jumps way too far around. That I was like, I know all of these storylines are kind of good, but just because it's like you jump and you spend like a third of an episode on this and then a third of an episode on this, that I know that the storylines will converge, but it was just taking too much for me to like care about any one of the stories individually.
Wasn't focused
and
enough.
so I stopped watching it.
Also, you know who else is in Silo that's super important? We all need to remember who they are. Common's in here. He's great. Common.
I had to see who it was.
Yeah, Common.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
great.
I know him.
But yeah, no. So sorry. I actually am wanting to watch Invasion next as well. I don't know.
If you power through it better than me and it's worth it, let me know.
But
and I'll come back to it.
See, I like shows like that though. That is like one of the things I like. That's how my brain works. So I'm fine with that kind of stuff. I'm like,
Well, because I guess I think
fine to
about
jump
that.
around.
That's like what Stranger Things does, and I love Stranger Things. I just don't know. Maybe it was because it was just from episode 1 of the first season. It was all over the place. So I don't know.
Yeah. Oh,
And
Well,
Anyway,
you know what has a straight storyline?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
is
No,
Mr. and
I
Mrs.
won't
Smith
go-
based off of like the movie type characters?
Different. The same idea. So the idea is, I won't go too far into this, but it's a fantastic show. It's really well acted. It's really well written, and the premise is husband and wife, secret agents, kind of a thing, right? The movie, it's way different than the movie. The idea of this one is from the get-go, they get assigned to be married to each other and do these secret agent missions. And basically each episode is like a stage of a relationship. So like the first episode is like when you first meet each other and it's kind of awkward. And then the next episode is about like getting engaged, or not, they're already married.
Getting
but anyway.
hot and heavy.
Yeah, and then like the third episode is about you're married now and now you have married friends, you know? And so it's like stages of relationships, but also they're secret agents and doing weird things, you know, kind of thing. It's really, really good. And they actually go places and film in locations.
Oh.
The last episode that I watched was in Italy, and it was beautiful, and it had an incredible action sequence set in it, like movie quality action sequence shot in Italy. Awesome. I can't recommend it enough. So check it out when you guys get a chance.
Mr.
Don't
and Mrs.
rewatch stuff. Watch Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's the best thing Amazon has
All right,
put
but
on
it's
TV.
Severance, though, Vince. It was Severance I was rewatching. Is that not worth it?
Severance is amazing. I agree. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to cover, so we can move on to
We
the,
got the
to the
entire
Oscars.
valuable things the Academy thinks we need to be talking about, the things that are going to get awards this season. And so let's talk about the 96 Academy Awards, which is for all the films that were technically released during the play run of 2023. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes.
And I think you guys probably have watched more films this year than I have for sure, but I'm very excited to be talking about a lot of these and seeing kind of what we can come up with and how it's going to be. What do you guys want to start with?
I do wish that I was, like you said, I have not finished my watching of this, but we're running out of time. The Oscars comes out in like a week and a half or something, so it's like we have to get an episode recorded if we're going to do this.
Yeah.
So I'm still missing 4 best pictures that I haven't seen. I
think I'm
know,
missing
and I haven't even
2 or 3.
touched like the best documentaries and the international features.
Here's the
and
thing.
So,
I was
shorts,
gonna
like,
watch.
those are gonna be guesses.
I was going to watch one of the best documentary ones, and then I saw that one of the winners from a past year of the best documentary was on Netflix. And so I watched My Octopus Teacher the other day.
Oh, I
instead.
love that movie. That was so good.
I love that one. There was like a weird line for me where I'm like, part of this is really magical. Part of this is just like this guy like projecting what he thinks this octopus thinks
his emotions
onto
onto-
everyone. He's like, dude, me and this octopus have a spiritual connection. And this octopus is like, why do you keep coming back?
Why does this thing keep following me?
This sounds like
It's a weird line.
That's funny.
the Queen song. I'm in love with my car, but he's in love with the octopus.
But I did still love it. It was very
Yeah.
good. Anyways,
Well, real quick
that's like
explanation
past
of what we're
years.
going to do, right? Is like we're going to go through each one of the categories. We're going to discuss the movies that are nominated, and we're going to agree as a podcast crew which one we think we
think.
want or we think will win.
I think we'll probably, most of them, we're going to say we think because it'll be ones to mark off. But there are some times, as we know, that we just have
We
to
just
take
really want
stands,
something to win.
and we say we want this.
But
And
we have
there's-
to we're going to vote on it, and we have to agree as a podcast trio that that's what we're going to do, and we're going to submit our ballot. And then at the end, when we record next, we'll report on how good we did.
All right. So let's just kind of fly through some of the not as big categories, right?
Yeah.
Like things that are
No, I
still
shouldn't say
really
lesser.
important, really cool. And to mention, like really fast, because we're going to go through this, new categories are coming. Not this year. I think next year there's a category for best casting that they've confirmed is being added. And with a new category being added to the Oscar, there has been an outcry for
Best stunts?
best stunts. And so it's not something that's been confirmed yet, like best casting, but it is something that I think if there is another one that's going to be added, That's the
That's
next
a good
on the
one.
list.
What is best casting? Is that just best
Just like, yeah,
overall? Like
just like-
this is an amazing cast in this. So
No,
it
like
wins?
best casting, like picking and working on actors who fit roles
Isn't that
and fit characters really well.
So
isn't that just best performances?
It's kind of best performances. It's like, well, because you have these casting directors who it's their job to go and find people. So I don't know if it'll be like, hey, there are like these people in like smaller movies for stuff like that, or if it's like, oh, this person, they casted this person who does a really good this character or does a really good this person in real life.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure, but I know that obviously the casting process is a really big thing in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so it kind of makes sense that because casting directors do a big part, and like you said, it can really be reliant on those performances, and so it's like might be kind of like an overall cast thing, but I know just that's something
That'll
that
be interesting to see how
people
that
talked about for a
turns
while.
out then.
yeah,
Cool.
it'll be cool. Anyways, let's just start from the bottom here. We got Best Visual Effects. Nominated films are The Creator, Godzilla -1, Guardians 3, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Napoleon.
Okay, I'll kick it off. I think it's got to be between The Creator and Godzilla -1, right?
I'd agree. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Godzilla -1.
It looked amazing, and they did it on a budget, an incredible budget.
I'm going to say like
However, The Creator looks real.
and I think you're the only one of us that has seen it, so I think I'd ultimately leave it up to you to pick.
Yeah.
I can't tell you guys how well he did at creating this world and these robots that all feel lifelike and this world that all feels like it could actually be true. Godzilla -1 looked amazing. They did it on an incredible budget, but there's still moments where I'm just kind of like, oh, I can kind of, I mean, it's Godzilla. It's a big monster thing. The Creator, I was completely engulfed in this world. And I think it looked, it's not like sharp CGI, like Marvel special effects, It's like grungy, real, dirty, almost feels like it was shot in the locations with the actual people, I don't know. I was really impressed with The Creator. So
Done with it.
I think I would lean Creator if you guys are cool with it. Like, I have nothing but respect for Godzilla -1 and what they did. And if it wins, I would be really, really happy for it because it's the first Godzilla movie where I was like, actually really
pulling for
loved
it,
and I'm
man.
pulling for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
the little engine that could, But The Creator was just, I didn't love the movie, but I loved how it looked. So that's, I'd say Creator personally.
I'm here
You
for
guys
The
haven't seen-
Creator.
I
I
do.
have no arguments against it. Crap, hold on.
You're good.
Sorry, I'm making a train.
You gotta play your game over here.
Well, I just gotta put things in the queue.
I'm glad the level of importance on this show is showing you.
I'm just obsessed
It's
with
his
the train
brain.
game.
He's got to
Your
keep it
farm,
focused
your
somehow.
farm bill has to be
No,
planted
it's not
here.
Farmville. It is Train Station 2.
We're going back to mid 2000s Facebook.
Best sound.
Tonight's that we're not fighting.
The best sound nominees are The Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, and then the last two, which I think are the two that it's really in between, are Oppenheimer and The Zone of Interest. And The Zone of Interest, to be fair, is one that I've heard that the best sound Oscar is a 2-horse race, with The Zone of Interest being one of my best picture films that I haven't seen yet.
I haven't seen it yet either.
And people are talking about how good it is. I thought that there was no chance that anything would be able to challenge Oppenheimer for the best sound Oscar, but people are talking like it's going to be one of these two. So I
need to see it. I really don't know what that movie's even about.
Have you
yet.
seen,
I
like, the
haven't
trailers
watched the
for
trailer.
it? The trailer for it makes me kind of understand it because it's a movie about, I'm pretty sure, like Holocaust stuff. And in the trailer, it's like a very weird, you see like children playing and just like people out in their backyards and stuff, but the sound is just very eerie and there's strange music and stuff like that, which even gives just this trailer, which literally just has people doing normal stuff, the most eerie feel. So because of that, I can like understand where people are coming from, and that's only seeing the trailer.
Okay.
That being said, I keep thinking about how much I loved watching Oppenheimer in IMAX and how much the sound was part of that experience, and especially not seeing The Zone of Interest, I don't think I can say anything other than that.
I'm game with Oppenheimer too. The bomb, and the crackling and throughout the whole thing. Like
The
it's
bomb,
just,
the
all of
crackling,
it's just like
The radiation, just multiple moments
like
where
an
they
experience,
use
not only to the eyes but also
the
to
sound, and they use the silence again
Mm-hmm.
in really cool ways.
Sounds is such a powerful tool in a film.
Oppenheimer until we see Zone of Interest.
Done. Best short
Oppenheimer
live
is.
action. The
I haven't
After?
seen. Oh, I have seen one.
Oh,
The one that we're probably both gonna say.
Probably.
The After.
The Wonderful
Invincible,
Story of Henry Sugar.
Night,
That's his name, right? Sugar.
Night of Fortune, Red, White, and Blue, or The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar.
I'm gonna say Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
There's no way that people aren't gonna say, "Hey, Wes Anderson made a short. We're gonna vote for it."
Yeah, it's a Wes Anderson win.
The Wonderful
I
Story
haven't
of
even
Henry
seen
Sugar.
the other ones, but
Yep.
yeah.
Done.
Has he won an Oscar before? Wes Anderson? He hasn't, right? This will be his first.
I don't believe so.
Wesley
If he
Anderson,
gets
Oscar
it, it will
winner.
be his first.
Casey can look it up. While he looks it up, I'll read Best Short Animated. We've got Letter to a Pig, 95 Senses, Our Uniform. Maybe I should have picked one of the better ones. What is that one?
Our printing isn't very.
War is Over, and then I can't read the fourth one. You guys might have to read that one
It's
for me.
called Pachyderm. It's called Pachyderm.
Okay. This is one of the ones I looked at beforehand because I hadn't seen any of them, and people seem to think Letter to a Pig or War is Over. So unless
I
you
like
guys
the
have seen
idea
one,
of
we
a
got to
pig.
pick one. Letter to a Pig. Are you down, Casey?
I like the title.
Yes.
I
Letter
haven't,
to
I
a
haven't
Pig.
looked at any of these yet.
So he has not won an Oscar before.
There you
Okay, I
go.
didn't think so.
So he might win his first there with this one. So we're going with Letter to a Pig for Best Short Animated.
Okay.
Apologies that we haven't seen these, but
Yeah, I'll get to it.
We're
before
the
it starts.
worst this year. And I know I'm
we'll
even the
once we
more
get
worst.
into some of these other ones, we'll have seen. I
Well-
mean, once we get into the main ones, you just see like 6 of them. You've seen half the movie.
Oh, it's like I've seen 2 of the 3 of the next one. So like Best Production Design, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, or Poor Things.
I think this one, like a lot of some of the upcoming categories, is going to come down to 2 movies because there were 2 movies that were really visually popping
guess
this
them?
year. Yes.
Because this is the 2 that I'm throwing back and forth. Do you want to guess? You want to take a guess? on some?
Barbenheimer?
I would say Barbie would be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
And
think Napoleon's the other one.
I'd say Poor Things.
Okay.
Poor
Poor
Things.
Things.
The production design on these 2 movies
I
was
agree with
obviously
you. Napoleon recreated that time period like amazingly, but Poor Things is so
Poor
out
Things.
there.
Poor Things is so out there, and when we talk about production design, and production design, obviously to recreate like period pieces is obviously extremely important. Same thing with Oppenheimer.
Wait, did
is-
you go to that? Because like here, there was only like 1 or 2 theaters showing it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I had to go up to just somewhere in the Northern Valley
okay.
to watch it.
And
so.
did you do the same thing?
Which one? For which one?
Poor Things.
Yeah, I saw it up in Salt Lake area.
Okay. I was like, where the heck was it? Okay, cool. Sorry.
No, yeah, very good. So I think it would probably be like because I haven't seen Napoleon, but I understand that as well. I think it'll probably be Barbie or Poor Things as far as production design goes. A lot of people, I think, have been leaning the Barbie way. Personal bias, I would like Poor Things to win. I just loved those skyscapes because it felt like you were walking through, you know, when you go to like Vegas or different places and you're walking through those like indoor cities, right, where they have the lights that go up on the ceiling and you're inside, but it feels like you're outside. That's what it felt like. When they would go to different places in the world, they had different, like, it felt like those skyscapes while being more wide open. And then just doing so much more with these like individual cities to make it feel like they were in France or they were in wherever they were. So it was very, very cool. Personal bias would be towards that, but I'm okay with either, honestly.
I would lean Barbie.
I've also would lean Barbie, just so you know. Sorry, I want to go.
No, go. You go.
I just want to say I want to lean Barbie.
Why?
I think Barbie like hit it up and out of the park. Like if you look at, and I know that, like Josh, I want to see this more so now because of your description of it. I have to highlight this. I haven't watched Poor Things yet. However, Barbie, the reason I feel like it's got to do so much and should win is because one, like I'm not a Barbie girl. I haven't lived in the Barbie world. However,
You felt it.
Could have fooled me.
I felt it. I was there, you know, like in everything I've seen over the years from Barbie commercials from when we were kids to like looking at the set design and kind of like how everything is. Boom, I was there. It's transported. The story as well. The buildings, they look like it. It looks like you are the kid playing in the Barbie world. I would say that one. Sorry, I got really
Hit it.
excited about that.
Do
I
it.
second that.
All right.
I loved their sets. I loved the practicality. I loved the waves were fake, like down to everything. I just think the production design was incredible.
It's
in
very cool. It's fun when a production design can contribute to the comedy and like the stuff of a show, which is very fun and what Barbie does very well.
that. You made us all Barbie girls.
Look at us.
It was me.
All right.
The Barbie world.
This is one that might come down to a vote.
Okay.
The best original song. We've got The Fire Inside from Flamin' Hot. You've got I'm Just Ken from Barbie. It Never Went Away from American Symphony.
Sorry, my printer's bad, guys.
It's okay. I think this one is
Wahaze,
Wahaze.
a song for my people from Killers of the Flower Moon, and
Okay.
What Was I Made For from Barbie.
Thank you. Maybe I should just have you read the rest of them.
Yeah,
'Cause
you got
sometimes
the good print.
It's all good. I got the better print, I think, is the answer.
Better.
So I think
Still
this
bad.
one, and I think most people think this one will come down to the 2 songs from Barbie.
All right, so you gotta sing the one you're gonna vote for. You already beat me to it.
What was I made for? I don't actually know that one.
Here's the thing. Most people think it's going to be one of those 2 songs that wins. Which one is an Oscar type song more? I know that people are loving and
Fire
riding
Inside.
It's the William.
I'm-
It's William.
I don't know. I've never heard that
song.
song. So
the I'm Just Ken train. It's going to be, I'm telling, this is one that I'm telling you, do you want a point or do you want to stand on the I'm Just Ken hill? It's going to be What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish. And
Yeah?
since we did the Barbenheimer episode, we had this talk because we said like, oh, you guys were like, oh, I'm Just Ken should be nominated for Best Original Song. And I was like, my favorite song was What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish.
Eyelash.
So
I
William
think we should do
Eyelash.
What Was I Made For, to be honest with you. I think that's going to do it.
I love I'm Just Ken. I love that song.
and here's the thing,
I
watch
think
me
you're-
guarantee this and then I'm Just Ken wins.
I think you're right. I think the Billie Eilish one has more of an Oscar vibe to it all. It's the slow, somber, like introspective, blah blah blah. But I'm Just Ken is fun, and it's catchy.
But the thing is anywhere else that song would be a 10. But right here, it is What Was I Made For.
Okay,
I threw that quoted so good right there. Yes!
I'm impressed, Casey.
and it went completely over my head.
I was like waiting for it. I was going to keep staring at you. I was like,
Do you get it? Do you get it?
Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm a little
Vince?
slow.
You've been on the mountain all day. It's fine. For Best Original Score, gentlemen,
All right.
American Fiction by Laura. Mine's kind of faded here. Is it
Cartman?
Cartman. Yeah. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny by Johan Williams. Killers of the Flower Moon by Robbie Robertson. Oppenheimer by Ludwig Göransson. Is that how you say that? I don't know. Göransson. And then Poor Things by Jerskin Fendrix.
It's going to be
I have a
Oppenheimer.
perfectly good.
We'll let Vince read the rest of them.
Oh,
I forgot that I
can
had
you-
this up on my computer.
I was like, you should just airdrop that to me, and then I can do it real quick.
Okay,
don't
yeah,
know.
I can do that.
You should just airdrop that to... Oh, wait.
Get out, Josh.
Me and my Android.
He's like a green bubble for life kind of guy, and it's fine. I respect that. Actually,
Whenever people talk about the green bubble,
Yeah,
it
it
makes
sounds
me
like-
like Android even more.
well, here's my thing. Are you ready for
I
this?
don't want to be in your exclusive blue bubble club.
Join our cult.
If I could be super honest with you, I would go over to Google Pixel every day, but then I have to discredit like 15 years of this. So
yeah,
Yeah.
you've
At
been
this
defending
point,
it
it's
for
the-
too
the
long. You don't want
sunken-
to become a hypocrite.
The sunken
No.
cost fallacy. It's like you've already
Yeah,
you
it's
already
sunken
put
too
too
much
much into
yeah,
it.
I have put my whole entire life on this. But yeah, so best original score, it's Laura Cartman actually, Karpman, and then Jerskin Fendrix for Poor Things. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like they're gonna throw it to John Williams, to be honest with you, because you don't think so?
John Williams, I feel like, is getting like
That's
a nomination. I feel like the music to the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is good. A lot of it's not crazy original. It's like John Williams has been nominated and won many times in his lifetime. It's more like another just like, hey, John
Another
Williams
nod
is
to-
here and he did a big movie score. Give him a nomination. And I feel like, I mean, to be fair, last year I was like, oh, Jamie Lee Curtis is getting like a lifetime nomination, and then she won. So who knows? But she also hadn't won before.
John
Ludwig
Williams
Göransson
is an old
too
white
good,
man,
dude.
though.
Ludwig Göransson is too good. He is Hans Zimmer is the past.
Whoa!
Hans Zimmer. This is coming
know-
from me.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying whoa.
Okay, I love Hans Zimmer still. Okay.
No, Hans Zimmer, you're out.
Hans
Here to
Zimmer
hear
is
us
the
on the
past.
Pause Run and Play podcast.
Ludwig
You're dead
Göransson.
to him.
He's him, dude. Why do you think Christopher Nolan is having him do all his movies now? This guy is the guy moving forward, and the score. Can you hear the music? Do you guys know that song? So the song that plays when at the beginning of Oppenheimer when he goes over to Europe and he's like learning and seeing all of the things, and it's showing all the particles and it's showing the beautiful Swiss Alps and all of these different things. When that's happening, the song called Can You Hear the Music is playing. That song is chills. Working at my desk, it comes on to my Spotify playlist that I have, and it's chills while I'm writing an email to an AE, you know, like it is so good. The entire score is so good. I think there's no way that he doesn't win this Oscar.
I'm going to throw another one into the ring. American Fiction by Laura Cartman. Is that her name? Cartman.
Yeah.
The movie ended. I saw it with a couple of friends. Alice, friend of the pod, been on our Last of Us episode, and her new boyfriend and her boyfriend. And he knows music. He makes music. And the movie ended. And I leaned over to the two of them and I said, "It's a bunch of jazz music. It's just jazz." And I leaned over to them and I leaned over to them and I said, "Why is this movie nominated for Best Score? It's just a bunch of jazz music." And they bust up laughing because literally he had just leaned over to Alice and said the score was amazing. So
to redeem
he knows
yourself,
more about it than I do, and he seemed very impressed. So I'm just going to throw that into the ring, but I don't have any bone to play in this. So if you want to do the Oppenheimer one, you seem much more passionate than I just made an embarrassment of myself in front of the music guy.
You've made a deal with me. I'm the devil. You get Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer it is.
Wait, so what happens if it wins? What happens to me?
He's the devil.
I guess we'll find out if you don't see me on the podcast.
Remember,
again. I sealed my fate.
The devil takes your soul.
You just agreed to something you don't even know the answer to. Best makeup and hair styling. Wow. Best makeup and hairstyling. We got Golda, Maestro, I think is what that is. Maestro, thank you. Oppenheimer, Poor Things, or Society of the Snow. I will tell you what I want to go with first, which is Maestro, because I have watched time and time again. What's his bucket?
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper getting in that makeup, and that is amazing to see. I get it. There's probably Poor Things probably should be leading out in one way or another, but I think Maestro with Bradley Cooper getting that.
I will also mention that my sister talked very, very highly about the hair and makeup in that one. The makeup in that one. So I haven't seen it yet.
Same.
But she was very impressed with it.
Poor Things is like the only other one that could possibly win this one from what I've heard, but it's like almost a lock for Maestro.
That's also what I've heard. All right, Maestro it is.
Get it.
All right, Best International Feature Film. Lo Capitano from Italy, Perfect Days from Japan, Society of the Snow from Spain, The Teacher's Lounge from Germany, and The Zone of Interest from the United Kingdom.
This is another annoying situation like with Parasite. Like we know who's going to win. It's the one that was nominated for Best Picture, right? Like it's going to be Zone of Interest.
And it's sad. It's like you feel like if a picture gets nominated for Best Picture, it's tough because it's like you want it to get its flowers because if it fits into that category, yes, you want it to get the win that it deserves, but it's like, oh, it's so anticlimactic. And it also feels, because it's like, yes, Zone of Interest, I feel, is the best movie of these ones just from what we've heard, right? And I haven't seen it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, it should win, but at the same time, it's like, you know it's going to win, and you wish that maybe it'd say, hey, you got a nomination for Best Picture, that's
So
a big
you're in
enough
the running
thing.
there.
You're not in the running there. I haven't seen most of these other ones.
I do want to see Lo Capitano.
Sound like a good one.
It got nominated for Best Cinematography too, right? Is that right? And I'm a sucker for oh no, sorry,
I
it's
don't
El
think so.
Conde. That's what I was thinking of. So never mind.
Okay. Society of the Snow it's beautiful. It's a tough watch. So Society of the Snow, I think, has 2 nominations. We just mentioned it for Best Makeup and Hairstyling, which it's not going to get, but there's a lot of, it's just very real. Like Society of the Snow is a tough watch. Like based on the true story of the
Plane crash.
Uruguayan rugby team that crashed in the Andes Mountains that had to resort to many things, including cannibalism, to stay alive. And it's like the real story, somewhat dramatized, of that situation. And it is very real. It is very raw. It is very emotional. So it like makes me sad that because I think that if there was another one on here, hopefully that one would win, because people had Society of the Snow as a long shot to get a Best Picture nomination as well.
Well, it came out
And
late in the game too. It was like
It
the
came out late
last
in the game.
month, like last December.
And that's another reason why people were hoping, because it's kind of like a recency bias thing. They're like, this just came out, and they're like, it's so good, it should get up there. It didn't end up getting that Best Picture nomination. So like, I hope that it would get its flowers, because it's a really, really good movie. It's going to be the Zone of Interest, though.
Okay.
Boom, doing it. United Kingdom, get this one. Sure.
At least it's called Best International Feature Film, and not like, because what is it? It's for the Golden Globes, I think Zone of Interest won for like Best Foreign Language Film or something like that.
I mean,
Or no, was it
British
Anatomy
Isles
of a Fall?
English is real.
I think it was Anatomy of a Fall that won
Oh.
like Best Film in another language for the Golden Globes, and it's like half French, half English. And you're like, okay.
Best Film Editing. Speaking of Anatomy of a Fall by Lauren Schnekel. How do we say that? Sorry. The Holdovers by Kevin Tent. Killers of the Flower Moon by Thelma Schoonmaker. Oppenheimer by Jennifer Lame. And Poor Things by Yorgos.
Lanthimos.
Thank you.
Wait. No, that doesn't look like Lanthimos.
Yeah, that's not Lanthimos.
What does it say?
Marvo.
Oh, sorry. It just got me because obviously the director of Poor Things is Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yeah, Yorgos Marvpors is this.
Interesting.
I can't say his name.
That's a long, complicated last name.
I'm sorry.
Apologies,
Sorry.
sir.
I'm sorry to all of Greece.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say Oppenheimer.
Like, I think Oppenheimer, because it has those cuts and everything like that, but there are a lot of things from all of these movies that I think they do really well with the editing. So
I feel like Oppenheimer as well. I haven't even watched
It's a
it yet.
safe bet.
Anatomy of a
Oppenheimer.
Fall is also like a really technical movie, and it's really interesting, and a lot of what they do with the editing is purposeful to make you question things like you're supposed to in the movie. So it's really smart editing. Oppenheimer is a lot more technical and
Like it's a safe bet.
longer. So
Safe bet. We'll go with the safe bet. Best documentary short. The ABCs of book banning. The Barber of Little Rock. Island in Between. The Last Repair Shop. Nine and Wipo.
I haven't seen any of them.
from stuff I read, ABCs of book banning.
Same,
'Kay.
actually. All right, let's go to Best Documentary Feature. Bobby Wine, The People's President. Eternal Memory. Four Daughters, To Kill a Tigre. And 20 Days in Mariupol, which I've heard 20 Days in Mariupol.
That's the one I've heard as well.
'Kay.
That we need to see.
Haven't seen any of them, so sounds good.
Okay, Best Costume Design. Barbie by Jacqueline Duran. Killers of the Flower Moon by Jacqueline West. Napoleon, Yanti Yates, and Dave Crossman. Oppenheimer by Ellen Mirojenik. And then Poor Things by Holly Waddington. I'm going to go with Poor Things.
This is another two-headed race with Barbie and Poor Things.
right?
So, what do you think, Vince?
I'm gonna lean Poor Things as well. I remember some of the things that Bella Baxter wears like stood out to me, and that doesn't happen very often to me. I don't really notice the costuming very often. Like it doesn't really stand out to me, but there's a couple of things that I remember Bella Baxter wearing that I was just like, whoa, you know?
Well, and as the person here who hasn't seen that, those stick out to me more than Barbie does.
And Barbie's impressive too because they I mean they did so much with it. They brought old costumes from like literally that Barbie used to wear the toys and brought them back, and so everybody who like really appreciated it and grew up with Barbie can be like, I had that exact same outfit when I was a kid, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
It could definitely go either way. So I'm down to go
What do you-
Poor Things, but
you leaning
if
Barbie?
I'm not leaning Barbie. Like it's a
you
really
can see it happen.
for me. It's like I don't know.
It's Barbie.
No, for me it's like 50-50. Like
Here, flip this
we
cap.
can go Poor Things.
The side one.
Okay, if it lands on this, it's Barbie.
Do you want to know the answer?
It's a Barbie.
Is Barbie?
I mean, here's the thing: if we don't want to, we don't have to.
Vince,
Casey
make
decided.
the final decision. 3, 2, 1.
We can do Barbie. I flipped Barbie, but
The
I
cap.
think on my personal one I might.
If we lose a point, Casey,
It's my fault.
it's
I
the
accept
Mountain
it.
Dew's fault.
It's a Mountain Dew's fault. All right, Best Cinematography, El Conde by Edward Latchman. Killers of the Flower Moon by Rodrigo Prieto. Maestro by Matthew Lebadik. Oppenheimer by Hoyt van Hoytema. And then Poor Things by Robbie Ryan. What do you guys think?
There's so much beautiful cinematography in a lot of these, and I do love the Poor Things cinematography a lot. It kind of goes hand in hand with the production design, and how they light everything is really cool and makes things feel very eerie or very fun or very sexual at times, like it's supposed to with what's going on with the movies. It's done very, very well, incredibly. Oppenheimer, I think, is going to win.
Yeah,
Like,
right there with you on Oppenheimer.
like, I just want to shout out Poor Things, and like you said, El Conde,
I want to see it.
was good.
I just
and
I want to
anything
see
nominated
it
for that.
because it's nominated for best cinematography, and I like to look at movies, so I want to see my Maestro and El Conde just so I can stare at it.
Done.
That sounds weird.
Oppenheimer. Let's go to best animated feature, which I can have a little. Oh gosh,
We're
let's
gonna
We're
have
really
a
kind of into the
conversation about this
big-
one, guys.
We're really kind of into the big categories.
Yeah,
now.
we're into the big groups now. Well, best animated feature: The Boy and the Heron. I know it's Heron. Sorry. Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
First off, anybody seen Robot Dreams? Where
Mm-mm.
can I see? Where can I watch Robot Dreams? I don't know where to see it.
in your dreams.
Okay. All right. So none of us have seen Robot Dreams, but
No.
I've seen all of them except for Robot Dreams.
yeah, me too.
And I have seen 3:
Which ones?
The Boy
Probably-
and the Heron, Elemental, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
I think that number one, I think that you and Allie would really enjoy Nimona.
I do too.
Okay.
You should definitely check that one out.
Vince and I both watched Nimona fairly recently, and it's a really cool one. There are, this is what I said to Vince, there are times in Nimona where it is very cool, and they take these really cool things to animation, and it has a really smart story, and the premise of it being like a futuristic medieval world is very cool, and it makes for a lot of interesting scenarios. There's a lot of cool character-based works. I love who does the voice acting. There are also other times where it feels weird, overstretched, and there are times in the movie at the same time where I'm like, this animation is incredible. There are other times in the movie where I'm like, this animation is pretty boring.
Yeah. It's
Like, they're doing-
simultaneously amazing to look at and underwhelming.
You were
somehow.
talking about the action sequences when we talked about it. There are action sequences where they're like running through this castle, and it looks like just like someone drew a wall here and a wall here in the background, and that's all that's going on besides the main characters running. And there are times where that's really underwhelming, and it's like noticeably underwhelming, where you're like, okay, that's really weird.
If you want this animation style like done perfect, check out the League of Legends TV show that came out like a year or two ago.
Arcane.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. And a story like that movie or that show, I can't say enough good things about it. It's amazing. Anyway, Nimona's great though.
Nimona's great. I don't think it's gonna win, but it's a solid recommendation. A lot of cool stuff to say. About a lot of divisive topics that happen in today's world. It's really interesting, and I think you guys will like it.
So saying that, who's going to win?
It comes down to two.
Not
From what
Elemental,
I've-
sorry.
It's not Elemental.
Boy
Elemental
and the Heron. and
Although
Across
I
the
got
Spider-Verse.
to shout out Pixar, like the way that they animated Elemental was
Gorgeous.
beautiful. Like
And
I
I
can't
loved
believe
it.
how good the water, how they made them real people. Like they took elements and they made them like relatable as humans almost. Like it was just really, really well done. But
Pixar doing Pixar things.
I
It's
don't
not
think
the
it's gonna
best
do it.
Pixar movie ever. It's very cool. Deserves nomination. It's not gonna win.
Boo.
the one that I want to win,
Yeah. Spider-Man.
I want Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse to win. I love that movie. I think it's amazing and it pushes boundaries and it looks incredible and the story's fun and I'm a Spider-Man fan on top of everything. So that's one I want to win. Do I think it's going to win? No.
I think it is.
Do you know why? Because it's a Spider-Man movie. Superhero movies don't win, guys.
Into the Spider-Verse won
When? What? 3 years ago?
3 years ago.
I don't think it will.
Here's the thing. It's really between Across the Spider-Verse and The Boy and the Heron. The Boy and the Heron is like the culmination of this guy's work, right? And a lot of people have a lot of really good things to say about it. A lot of people have a really bad things to say about it. I feel like it's too divisive
To
to
win it?
take it. I feel like
But-
Across the
But is it
Spider-Verse
divisive in the
in the critical community?
yeah, the critical
Still,
community?
yes.
Okay. Because I was one of the ones underwhelmed by the movie. I think it looks beautiful, but I was like confused by the story, and it was just kind of like, I don't know what
And
I'm
again,
doing
it's the
here. I
Oscars,
don't
like-
really know this guy's work very well, and it was kind of hard to take it in. But it seemed like it was like right up there for the Oscar crowd, and it has the story behind it. It's got the creator behind it. It's a beautiful piece of art. And it just seems more Oscar baity to me than Spider-Verse does.
And that's the thing, is I think it really could be either of them that ends up winning.
And
It could be
Spider-Verse
like
already won one, so
Spider-Verse already won one, but
But
here's
are they gonna
why.
throw him a bone for being someone who hasn't been won one for so long. Like it has everything I feel like running for it.
I want to say yes to The Boy and the Heron, but I also want to say yes to Spider-Man. Like, that's the thing, right?
I think that if Across the Spider-Verse did the exact same thing that they did with Into the Spider-Verse, it wouldn't win.
Yeah.
I feel like because they push the boundaries further, and we obviously have an entire episode where we talk about Across the Spider-Verse that you can check out. I feel like because they push those boundaries to new limits and do even more, and it still works as well, if not better, I think that they're still going to give it to it because it's still pushing those boundaries. The only other reason why I feel like it could be really, really tough is just time frame. It got released in like early June.
Kind of forgotten about it.
Early June, right? And The Boy and the Heron was like a fall release or something like that. And so people are probably like, oh yeah, Spider-Verse was good. But if they haven't seen it recently, they're not going to remember how good, right? Don't get me wrong. Like I put other movies ahead of it, but Spider-Verse still was like my number 3 movie of the year. I'm pretty sure. Like it is incredible. And I think if people go back and watch before they vote, I know it's Oscar baity, and you know me, I usually am like that Oscar baity person who I'm like, no. Like, I don't want to like paint myself as
Can you do that sound
like too much of a snob. But like, you know, I usually love those movies. And to be fair, I haven't seen The Boy and the Heron, and it's not really up my alley. But I want Spider-Verse, and I think enough people will hopefully remember that this film franchise is literally pushing animation. It's changing animation. Like we talk about Nimona, it's doing a lot of those same type of things. Just where Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse is pushing animation in a direction that we all love. And that's not to say that Studio Ghibli isn't, because people love Studio Ghibli and they have for years and all of that stuff, and it's doing incredible stuff. But it's just moving it forward in a way that I don't think I could do anything but Across the Spider-Verse here.
Oh, look who's here.
I think we should vote for Across the Spider-Verse. What do you think, Kitty? Say it.
He's just going to cruise across,
Says
make
yes.
himself at home. All right, tiebreaker it is. Spider-Verse it is.
Yes. All right.
I'm still on the fence here. You make a
If
valid
Boy and the Heron
argument, and I would
wins,
love Spider-Verse to win.
I'll write you an apology.
And if Spider-Verse wins, I will cheer right alongside of you because that's the one I would prefer to win
That's
it.
the one we'd want.
All right. Well, then let's go to the next category, which is Best Supporting Actress. Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple, America Ferrera in Barbie, Jodie Foster in Nyad, I don't know. Davine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think America Ferrera should win, from my perspective, because she did wonderful, and I didn't even think of her as Ugly Betty one time during all of Barbie.
She did do incredible. A lot of people were surprised she got a nomination, which is not a bad thing. It's obviously a great thing that she got a nomination, but it was more just like with the other people who people thought should have got nominations from Barbie that actually didn't end up getting one. It was a lot more of a surprise to people that she did, which is good that she got it. I don't think she has enough behind her to get it pushed into the win. Davine Joy Randolph has won pretty much every single, like the supporting actress and actor Oscars this year are like almost locks
Davine Joy Randolph, really?
in the holdovers.
Oh, so best.
She's
supporting
won
actress,
pretty
okay.
much every.
I was thinking we were doing best actress for a second. Sorry, I got very distracted by Kat.
You're good. You're good. There is some buzz around like the coming out of nowhere, like Danielle Brooks in The Color Purple. Or is it Brooks? Sorry, my thing.
Yeah,
again
yeah.
is-
Yeah,
There,
Danielle
there has
Brooks.
been buzz around that, and just kind of like as it comes into, but I'm pretty sure like Golden Globes, SAG Awards, all that stuff.
Okay.
Davine Joy
Sure.
Randolph has won it.
Okay,
on
let's
the-
do it. The best actress goes to Annette Bening, Nyad, Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Hüller, Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan, Maestro, Emma Stone, Poor Things. 3, 2, 1.
I can't.
I know.
There's
I
two.
don't make me do it.
3, 2, 1. Sam.
The two?
Yeah.
Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone.
You?
I love Emma Stone. I love her. She was amazing as Bella Baxter. I should really like saying her name.
And I think people think that she has the
But-
slight edge because she's won most of them, but the Lily Gladstone, since it came out, has been the hype train.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
She deserves
I'm
it,
still for it
and-
too. She did an incredible job. A lot of people want it and want it to happen when it comes down to like looking at the film itself, and this was a lot of people's critiques with the film, was a lot of this movie was spent on Leonardo DiCaprio's character, and a lot of the second half of the movie, you got a good performance of her, but it was a lot of laying in bed and being sick, which is not a bad thing, and she did incredible in her other times, but it was really tough because a lot of people say, okay, dude, Emma Stone, this is like a role of a lifetime for her. That she's done a lot of incredible things, and she's already won an Oscar before. But this is like
she does so
an incredible role that she does. And so like it's really, I think, down to one of these two people, and I will be happy for either to win.
But don't make me choose.
And sad for whoever doesn't win it because they're both incredibly deserving.
All right. Pick a number between 1 and 5.
No,
7.
I'll vote. I'll vote for 1. If we gotta choose.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on the board for Emma because I love her.
Done. Emma Stone it is for Best Actress.
I mean, if you guys want to.
Here's the thing. I think we put it for Emma Stone. I think Emma Stone will win. She's also won most of the awards lately.
Mm-hmm.
If Lily Gladstone wins, I will be so happy as well.
I think we should
I think that Emma Stone will be happy as well. Especially because she's already won.
Too. Yeah. She's a classy lady.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. Okay.
Do we do Emma Stone then? We put that on the
Emma
board?
Stone is down.
Okay.
Best Supporting
Committed to
Actor goes to Sterling K. Brown, American Fiction, Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr., Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling for Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo, Poor Things. Josh.
I can't
It's
tell.
Robert Downey Jr.
I can't tell if you're like reading these purposely off or because you've done it a few times, like saying like tigre instead of tiger and stuff. It's Ruffalo, right? I just have to make sure.
Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo?
Ruffalo.
Okay.
Yes, I know it's
Let's
Ruffalo.
move on.
Rufio.
That's where I was going with it. It's Mark Ruffalo. I do know that, actually.
I mean, there's been one too many. I think
I just can't keep up. I don't know when it's a joke when it's not anymore.
That's my whole life, though, man.
Robert Downey Jr., is that what you said?
As Robert Downey Jr. He does an incredible job, and he's deserving of it, and it's a lifetime achievement.
I really like Sterling K. Brown in American Fiction, too. His character stood out a lot to me. But I don't think he's going to win it. I just want to shout him out. Like, I don't really know his work very often, but he did fantastic in American Fiction.
I think Sterling K. Brown as an actor is probably one of my favorites.
It's really
if
good.
I think about it, anything he's in, I'm like, wow, that was amazing. So, but I agree with you on the Robert Downey Jr. piece from everything I've heard.
I also have to say Ryan Gosling in Barbie, hilarious. Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things. It's the first time I've really, really liked Mark Ruffalo, and it made me kind of feel like, oh, he's been wasted as the Hulk all these years.
I know.
I liked Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things, but I was kind of surprised when he got a nomination, just with the performances out there.
He was definitely chewing the scenery on it, but it was entertaining as heck.
it was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
So I just kind of want to
funny.
see him just like do his thing if he wants to go all out and
I
do
would love to
something. Like I
see-
want to see him in more stuff for the first time in my life. I'm like, I could use some more Mark Ruffalo doing just whatever he wants.
You know, he is a talented human, and
I'd
will
love to
say,
see him get a lot of really crazy character work. Because
Yeah,
this was one of
yeah.
his like more zany characters, and not like this is the guy, this is what he does, and it's like very just set out for him what he needs to do. If you give him room to have range, it was definitely cool to see what he could do with it. And obviously, there's a reason, I guess, that he got this supporting nomination, even if I didn't think so. And I'm really sorry. I definitely just interrupted you mid sentence, and I apologize.
your apology has been accepted. However, I don't
Will
know
you
what I was gonna
retract
say.
the curse that we did earlier when we shook hands?
No.
Okay, correct.
No. The curse is alive and well. Yeah, no, I'm thinking we should go with Robert Downey Jr. on that one.
I do too.
Let's go to Best Actor really quickly. We got Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo from Rustin,
Haven't seen it.
Paul
you know Coleman
Giamatti.
Domingo, though?
Mm-mm.
Did you watch Fear the Walking Dead?
No.
Okay, never mind then.
Okay.
I don't know.
Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers,
Love him.
Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer,
Love him.
Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction.
Love him.
So Vince, you love all these men. Who do you want to win?
Which man do you
It's gotta
love
be
the
Cillian
most?
Murphy. It's gotta be Cillian.
I
I mean, I think I haven't seen the Holdovers yet, but he's the only one that I would put up against him in what I've seen. So
That's the thing, is all the buzz is behind Cillian Murphy, but there is
some Paul
Giamatti
fans.
rumblings as his performance is incredible, and as like a lifetime type of deal where he's done a lot over the years, a lot of incredible stuff. He means a lot, and he's finally getting his flowers, and people would love to see him do it. And people think that Cillian Murphy will get more opportunities, but like Cillian Murphy, I think is just too good, man.
This line, and here's what I think. Paul Giamatti is one of the most recognizable actors and has done so much. However, from what I understand, Cillian Murphy has just really built and developed, and this role right here is one of those things that is so defining as a career move, that he played it, he did it, he showed it. And I love Paul Giamatti. I have to say this. You're great. Love you. Wonderful. Cillian Murphy wins, though. Sorry.
I think Cillian Murphy deserves to win. It's the biggest thing. Like, I love Paul Giamatti, and I think his performance in The Holdovers is really good. It's really incredible and deserving of an Oscar nomination, and maybe in another year an Oscar win. But Cillian Murphy definitely deserves it.
Boom. Roasted.
Okay.
All right. Best original screenplay. Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May, December, Past Lives. Gonna go with Maestro.
I've only
Or
seen
Past Lives.
Past Lives, but based on the trailer for The Holdovers only, I think that movie looks really good.
The Holdover.
So I think that's the one I would vote for, because I wasn't as touched by Past Lives as I think you were.
The Holdovers has a smart screenplay, and a lot of people think that it could win. Maestro is a pretty divisive movie a lot of times, and it is sound in its
That cat is
The
loud.
cat is behind the cat is our cameraman. Action.
Maestro has a shot to win it. There's a lot of things that go on with it. May December is smartly written. Past Lives is one that I think should have gotten more Oscar love, and so it hurts me to not say like that it should win, because it's a really smart movie in the way that it's written as well, and I love it. Anatomy of a Fall is going to win, I think. And I think that it should win because the movie does a really good job in a lot of different things. And obviously, Sandra Hüller does an incredible job, and she got a nomination for Best Actress. This movie is as good as it is because of the screenplay and because of how it's written. It makes you think things. It makes you question things all over, and it's because of how it's written. Anatomy of a Fall, I think, is the most original and the movie that gets most from its screenplay, because these other things do great, and then they're elevated by other people. All of them are elevated by the people in them. But Anatomy of a Fall and Past Lives, I think, are the ones that the screenplay is really what shines in the movie. So I think Anatomy of a Fall is going
I'm game for that.
Sold. Anatomy of a Fall for Best Original Screenplay. Let's go do Best Adapted Screenplay. American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, The Zone of Interest.
I don't know. And this is the one I also, because I didn't know, I went and I looked up betting odds and stuff like that for different things like that. And this is the tightest race for everything. Because most betting odds, there will be at least something that, even if it's not very much a favorite, that is negative 100 or something like that. These ones are all plus 150, plus 200, plus 300, and they're all really, 4 of them are really tight. The Zone of Interest is really good. People don't think it's going to win. The other 4, literally any of them could win this Oscar. And so it's just going to be whatever we decide, I think, pretty much.
I vote Barbie.
I know you do.
Barbie girl.
I have a hard time with this one. American Fiction was really good. I just don't think you bet against Oppenheimer on anything.
Here's the thing. Here's why I question it, because these are voted on by the people who write screenplays and do all that stuff. So I think that they'll do whatever they want, but at the same time, I feel like Oppenheimer is tops in so many categories that I feel like some people will be like, the adapted screenplay is good and it's smart, but I feel like they'll look at some of these other ones and say these also deserve their flowers and possibly take a look at it. I think, like I said, none of them are really crazy favorites. I think Oppenheimer was the one that was the closest, but all of these, Poor Things is a really smart screenplay
It's
as well.
too, and it's
wacky
really
and zany
and really well written and funny and just
It's tough.
I don't
think
know.
we just
I don't know
gotta-
on that one.
I don't know.
3,
It could
2, 1. Say it.
American Fiction.
Done.
Okay.
I mean, that's we don't have to. We can do Barbie. Like, it's really any of those. Like,
You
I
decide,
just picked
Casey. This
one.
one's all you.
It's Barbie.
If you want, if you want to, yeah. If
Here's
you
the thing,
want to
Barbie
give
is
some Barbie
smart
some love,
because it's not directly from like a book or existing. Because
yeah. Why is it considered adapted?
So this is why. It's because it's based off of a universe that is a toy that we all know and has a storyline, but it doesn't necessarily have a concrete written form storyline because there are many adaptions and types and things written by the Barbie company like Mattel and stuff like that is lore around who Barbie is, what Barbie is.
And adapted would that would consider sequels would be adapted too, right? And since
yeah,
there's so
any
many Barbie
sequels-
movies, is this considered a sequel? Kind of.
But all those are just like for kids, not real. I don't know.
it's more like if you base main parts of your movie off of, I think the wording that they use is usually existing source material.
That's what I was trying to go with, and I
Okay.
didn't have that word.
So
Phrase.
it's like because like yeah, the stories and all that stuff is involved with it. Basically, it's because your movie is about something that has existed for years.
And
it's gonna be adapted.
Matilda's mom was there. Yeah, this has been making noise the whole time. I'm sorry.
So,
It's better.
so and because of that, it's really smart because to make a movie out of existing source material that isn't just directly like from
Something.
a story that's just rewritten and done in an interesting way.
Let's do Barbie then. That makes me happy
I'm
that
down.
they did that.
That was
you're a
where I
Barbie-
was coming
You're a
from, and
Barbie
I just
girl,
didn't
and we're all Barbie
vocalize.
girls, and
We're all Barbie girls, so hit it.
let's do Barbie.
Yeah.
All right, we're down to 2.
And up next for Best Director in our final 2, Anatomy of Fall, Justin Triet. Killers of a Flower Moon by Martin Scorsese. Oppenheimer by Christopher Nolan. Poor Things by Yorgos Lanthimos.
There's no way
I
you're
know
saying
now.
Nolan and then you say Yorgos Lanthimos.
I know, right?
And then The Zone of Interest, Jonathan Glazer.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna glaze Jonathan Glazer. I mean, what are we doing here?
All right, really quickly, I'll fix my stuff. Anatomy of Fall, Justin Triet. Killers of the Flower Moon, Martin Scorsese.
We've gone through 'em.
Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan. Poor Things, Yorgos Lanthimos. And The Zone of Interest by Jonathan.
And he
Glazer.
screws it up.
What are we doing here? Let's get to the final category. I mean,
What's your vote?
It's Christopher Nolan.
It's Christopher Nolan, man. He deserves the Oscar. He does this movie. He deserves it for it. I would love people say that the long shot for this one, like long shot, as in like second closest, but still unlikely to win, is Yorgos Lanthimos.
Oh yeah.
And I love.
So when you're saying long shot, like if we're running down the 100-yard dash, where am I as Yorgos Lanthimos behind the leader?
You
6 paces.
are like someone who won their state high school track meet going against Usain Bolt. You're not slow. You're just not that fast.
So this feels like the end of Cars, is what you're saying to me. Is there somebody who's crashed off to the side, and then there's me, Lightning McQueen, that's so close to being able to finish, but I've stopped at the line, and here comes boom, the other guy.
Chick Hicks.
Yeah, Chick Hicks. Thank you. This is how it
The
feels.
Pixar Valtteri Bottas.
Boom. But so that's how it feels right now, is what you're saying. So, all right, I'm gonna go with Christopher Nolan.
Here's the thing. I would love Yorgos Lanthimos. You guys know when we did our A24 episode a long time ago, and obviously there's new A24 movies that have come out since then, but if we go back to that one, my favorite A24 movie at the time, and I'd have to look at that
Harry
list
Potter.
again. What? was The Lobster,
It
which
was.
is a Yorgos Lanthimos movie, and I just love his crazy zany style, and he's getting more and more Oscar love each time he does stuff. The Favorite, now Poor Things. There's so much good stuff, and I just can't wait to see what he does next. And this Emma Stone Yorgos Lanthimos like partnership that has been happening, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
This is like
Because
the Chris Nolan,
incredible
Cillian
stuff.
Murphy type piece, but it's Yorgos Lanthimos
And Emma Stone.
Stone.
Which I love, but it's about damn time that Christopher Nolan wins an Oscar.
Chris
for
Nolan,
being the
we got
best
you.
director. And I'm so excited because you know how much I love Christopher Nolan, and it's going to happen. And if it doesn't, I will cry.
So Josh's home has a secondary auxiliary building attached to it, and it is literally just a shrine of Christopher Nolan. He has a wax figurine that we stole from Madame Tussauds, and it's just back there. And he lights
Flakes
a
of
candle.
skin, little pieces of hair.
He lights little candles every third morning to it, and lets that statue rewatch Christopher Nolan films to make sure that his creative juices always flow.
Wow.
Wow, you're not that far off. Just kidding.
He has a little plastic one, okay? It's only half the size.
I mean, I guess like whenever we're on a work call, Vince can see my background, and my
Yeah, it
background is TV and movie posters, and there are a lot of Christopher
There's just big
Nolans.
change to that wall.
What?
Memento just popped up on there, I noticed.
Not just. It's been up there
It's
the
been
whole
up there
time.
for a
Oh,
while.
I just
He
noticed
got
that.
all those posters around the same time.
Oh, I
Actually,
just noticed
speaking of,
Memento.
my coworkers like it when I work from your home historically because my backdrop is cooler than when it's just me with my blurred out background. So
All right, bro.
thank you for having a nice backdrop.
Hey, if you guys ever want, if you're ever looking to get me a gift, movie posters and
Movie
TV
posters,
posters, I'm always looking to add to that. I just added. I signed up for the A24 club, and one of the things that they sent out because it's around that time was because I signed up and did whatever. They said, "Hey, we'll send you a poster from one of our recent movies," and I got a poster of David Von Erich from
Oh,
the Iron
good
Claw.
for
So
you.
that one
That's
went up
awesome.
recently.
Perfect for you.
So-
Harrison Dixon back there. Oh, and we didn't mention, by the way, my vote for best actor is Zac Efron.
actually,
Write in Zac Efron to win.
Zachary Efron.
That's my vote, and it won't change.
Done.
All right, guys, let's
Let's-
finish this off before the camera dies.
Let's do this. Best Picture for the 96 Academy Awards. We have American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest, which is an A24 film.
So is Past Lives.
Did I miss that? Oh, I did. Yep. Okay,
And
I'm so sorry.
is The Iron Claw, which should have been nominated
Oh, yeah,
for
it's
Best
actually-
Picture
it-
or freaking something.
Wait, sorry, I forgot to say it. It's right here. It's the fourth down. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, there you go.
But Vince, who do you vote for?
Well, I just gotta say, shout out to this year's best pictures. Like all of them, so good. All the ones I've seen so far, anyway, so good. So it can be appealing to a lot of people. Some Oscar noms are a little bit hard for the general audience. I feel like a lot of these can be accepted by the general audience, personally. That being said, Josh, go ahead.
Well, I don't know.
I thought I knew
feel-
what you were going to say,
No,
though.
here's the thing.
I
You know
also
what I'm
did.
going to say. And I think there is one that's in line to most likely win.
Does it,
And
start,
it's Oppenheimer.
does it start with an O and end with an R?
Yes. And it is Zone of Interester. No, it's Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is the most likely to win.
Mhm.
But Best Picture, as we know, in the past in the Oscars, it doesn't always go where you're thinking.
Parasite,
Parasite, Moonlight.
Moonlight, and the one about the Deaf family. I can't remember the name.
Coda.
of it. Coda.
Green Book.
Surprised. Green Book.
So you just, I don't know. Like, I think Oppenheimer is the most likely to win as far as what people think. But I'm not going to lie. I think that Poor Things could sneak it out.
Poor Things, really.
Yes. I think if there's I think if there's another movie in here that's going to win, Maestro's not going to freaking win. American Fiction, if it wins, it's like, it'll be like the irony of like why it wins because of the movie it is. Anatomy of a Fall is really interesting and it does a lot of cool things overall. I don't think it's going to win. Barbie is good, and I'm glad that it got nominated. I don't think it's going to win. The Holdovers people have as like a long shot as well. Killers of the Flower Moon is very cool, and it got like, it's getting all these nominations. It's not going to get a lot of wins, sadly, because it's a really good Martin Scorsese one. But just compared to other Martin Scorsese ones and compared to other movies that have come out this year, people aren't as on board with it, which is, it's like weird to say because it still ended up on my top 10 and did like all these different things, and it's still an incredible movie. And you can check it out on Apple TV Plus, I think now. Like that's where it's streaming, and it's really good. We were talking about Maestro. Past Lives, like, that would be great. I'd love that. Past Lives is one of my favorite movies of the year, but it's not going to win. And The Zone of Interest I haven't seen yet, and people have talked about it being like the really like long shot, but possible, like people voting for crazy and like historical stuff. I think that if it goes anywhere other than Oppenheimer, I think it'll be Poor Things, if I had to really say. But that's just my own thoughts. Like, I think our best bet is probably an Oppenheimer guess. But I do like that there's so many
shade
good
of
ones.
Yeah.
I do like that it's not just set forward, straight in stone. We know what's going to happen, right? Like last year, like Everything Everywhere All at Once won, and was there really a question on the other ones? I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Like, it was a surprise that Everything Everywhere All at Once won, like, basically all of their categories. Like, it was kind of crazy, but I don't know if there was really any other question that there was going to be one that wins. I think there was one other one that was kind of the main contender with it, but
So,
what do you
what's
guys
the
think?
answer? Who do we gonna put down? Vince?
I still lean with the safe bet at Oppenheimer.
Done.
I liked Poor Things a lot, but it's a lot to the general audience. I guess we're not marketing towards the general audience here. We want the critics and stuff to get along on board. But I think Oppenheimer's just I think it's gonna sweep a lot of the categories. And I think Best Picture is right along there with it.
And to be fair, Oppenheimer is the one we talk about. It's, not the general audience that are voting, but as far as these categories, Best Picture is the one that everyone votes on, right? Because screenplay, they have writers vote on. Acting, they have actors vote on. So Best Picture is one that's voted on by everyone. So because it has the most people that are going for it, and because Oppenheimer is nominated in so many other categories that it's likely to win, I also think it's a pretty safe bet that Oppenheimer will win. I'd say don't be too surprised, though, if we hear Poor Things or maybe even something else come out on March 10th.
Oppenheimer then, or is that what we're gonna do?
Oppenheimer it is.
Unless you want to
Hit it.
What do you think, Casey?
I think
Casey's the deciding vote here.
I actually have only heard about Oppenheimer. So the thing is with this is I think that everything else, I say I've only heard about it, but I have looked into this a little bit. I think the rest of them have their merits and stuff like that. But where we've talked about so much, like, okay, does American Fiction just get it now because of, whatever reason? No, it doesn't get it. Maestro, from what I've heard, the problem with Maestro is this is just a hard year for this. I know that Bradley Cooper trained forever and he swung the little thing, learned how to do it, and that's great. I'm happy for him.
Swung the little thing.
But it's just not the right year for this film to win. Killers of the Flower Moon, like you said, Scorsese, great, but not his greatest film. And then Poor Things, I haven't watched it, but from what you guys say and what so many other people say, it's great. It could sneak in a win. However, Oppenheimer is the clear lead for me. So that's it.
Okay, put Oppenheimer on the board. Best Picture.
Best Picture for the Academy Awards for 96th time.
we've probably said a lot of things that you guys might think are controversial during the podcast. So if you've somehow made it to this point of the podcast, number one, thank you for listening to us drone on about all of these things. We love you and we appreciate you. And then mostly we want to hear about what you guys think. If we have certain categories that we are just completely ignorant on, if there are some of the movies that we said that we haven't watched or seen and you're like, this is an incredible documentary or this is an incredible short, you guys have to know, please let us know in the comments or message us on Instagram, on YouTube. We're active pretty much everywhere. Let us know who you think should win Best Picture and all these other categories and where we're just being completely ignorant, because we love to hear that.
And with that ignorance, we all know that we haven't watched all these films. And so if you come in, like Josh said, and you're like, dummies, get it right, we'll gladly take your feedback and give it to Bernie. He'll take care of things, but he's in Texas, I think. So anyhow, thank you guys so much for tuning into the Pause Where I Play podcast, and we'll catch you again next time.